Today we're talking about the genre that you either love or love to hate. Romantic comedies.
That's right, Noah. And if there's one thing I love more than a good romantic comedy, it's writing a podcast intro at the last minute using chatbot GPT. Not a sponsor.
We're talking about a genre that celebrates human connection, and here Joe is using a robot to write intros.
I was in a rush. Like, Valentine's Day is over, but we're still doing this episode anyways, I want to reiterate, and it's going to come out like the end of March.
No, let's get back on track. Not the schedule, but the episode intro. Romantic comedies have been a staple of cinema since the beginning. Whether you love them or hate them, there's no denying their popularity.
Each of us has picked our favorite rom-coms and made the others watch it. Passions will explode as we break down 27 Dresses, But I'm a Cheerleader, and The F Word.
Grab some popcorn and get ready to laugh, cry, and cringe at our favorite romantic comedies. Roll the intro.
Can I just say that I'm mad that chatbot GPT not only gave Noah the most lines, but the first line of that intro?
It knows what the people are here for.
I think this is the first episode where we didn't start with Joe's classic podcast intro.
It might be. It might be. It's definitely up there.
Mm-hmm.
There's got to be something to it. I don't know. I don't know if we're on script. I haven't been looking at it. But oh yeah. Oh wow. Wow. Joe's slipping. I got it. Hello and welcome to 21st Century Cinema. It's the podcast about film and the film industry. I'm your insert adjective here host, Noah Shepard. And joining me today are the two co-founders of the podcast. First, some creative intro for Jamie. It's Jamie Carvello. And also joining us today, some other fun intro for Joe. It's Joseph Delavecchia.
You are a fucking play dude, and I give you fucking stage directions, and you can't follow them.
I gave you the
intro. I gave you the intro, dude, and you fucking blew it.
Me and my roommate Jared were also the first boots in an improv contest. So
that's horrible.
We are not skilled.
Yeah, there is no talent in Newfoundland. That's what we've learned today.
It was chaotic, and we I'm pretty sure turned the audience against us by telling them they had small penises, and then just kind of going from there.
Well, going forward with my running tradition of never using the same intro description twice, I can now no longer use, thanks to Noah, insert adjective here and some creative intro about Jamie.
That's true. No, you're kind of
cannot use that now. Yeah.
Yep.
Don't know what I'm gonna do. Anyways, guys, we're breaking down romantic comedies today. This is an episode I never thought we'd do, mostly because if I think of the three of us, the last genre I think of is romantic comedies.
I don't know. I like the odd romantic comedy. I would, in completely forgetting about it for this whole premise, I remembered Crazy Rich Asians exists, which is really good.
Yeah, it is good. But we also complain about blockbuster movies or movies with no plot every other month on this podcast.
You complain about movies with no plot. I love movies with no plot.
Oh my gosh, you guys are a part of this. You have to support me sometimes.
Yeah, maybe.
One episode.
Maybe.
Come on. One episode. Let's do one episode where we agree with everything Joe says episode.
No, because Joe's going to script it and it's going to be weird.
I won't script it. You guys can just surprise me. Just say, Joe, this is the episode where we all agree with you.
To be fair, we argue a lot on this podcast, but I think overall we do share more similarities in our movie opinions than we do differences.
That is true. I think we're all tired of Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was tired since Ultron.
Yeah, I know. You've been tired since Ultron. It's like your catchphrase.
Yeah.
I saw Ant-Man 3 and oh my God, that was bad.
Yeah.
I thought it was better than the second one, but it was still bad.
Yeah. I think you rated it higher than most people, except for my
coworker. I? That's insane. Because I gave it a 6 out of 10.
At least most people I've talked to, except for my coworker Fonts, he really enjoyed it. But I like Fonts, so.
Shout out to
There you go.
Fonts, I guess.
Shout out to Fonts
Um,
King of King's
mhm.
Photography. And
Wait,
Venus.
his last name's not Fonts? I thought you were calling him by his last name. His first name is Fonts?
Yeah, Fonts.
Like Fonts. Fonts.
No,
like
no,
Times New
no.
Roman.
No. Phonse. Fonts.
I've never heard that name before in my life. I really thought you had a friend named Fonts right now, and I was like, oh my gosh, please tell me his middle name's Helvetica.
No,
But
I'm not sure if it's short for anything or not. I'm not sure, but Fonts King of King's Photography and more.
and more.
There you go. There's a plug for his photography business
Yeah.
as well.
Let's promote everything but our own show. Let's do
Yeah,
that.
let's not do that.
Because we
Yeah,
don't get
I like that
because
idea.
we have too much support at this point. You know, let's
We
spread the
do.
wealth and
We
love
do.
that we have.
To be
Yeah.
fair,
We agree with you,
only
Joe, on this
George
one. We agree with you
listens.
here.
Yeah, we agree with you.
There it is.
Yeah, only
There's
George is listening to this podcast. So.
one agreement with Joe per episode is the new standard.
I can do that. I could do one agreement.
That's
with
doable.
Joe.
Look, that's another
Okay.
agreement right there, actually.
There
We
you
agree
go.
on
Look at that.
Mhm.
That's 2. We're above quota.
You guys don't have to do one now in the next episode. They carry over.
Exactly.
All right, let's get this episode started. We each picked our favorite rom-com of all time, and we're going to break them down, talk about our thoughts, and I think this is going to be interesting because I don't think you guys are going to expect me to say what I'm going to say. But does anybody want to start, or is there anyone who's like really like bursting to talk about one of these that we were forced to watch?
I mean, it's your podcast, buddy.
It's your podcast
Our
too.
podcast.
We all have equal stake in this. Okay,
I
we
know
all
we
have
do.
equal stake in the podcast. I just do all the work.
Yeah, exactly. You do all the
Oh.
work. So why don't you go? You can choose first or last, Joe.
Let's go first because I don't think mine's going to be as controversial as I thought it was going to be. Okay, so I picked 27 Dresses.
Yeah, you did.
So yeah, my background with this is that I don't really like watching rom-coms. There's very few that I watch, and usually when I watch them, if I'm like, oh, that was okay, oh, that was funny, I never want to watch them again. I don't know what it is about 27 Dresses. It has been a few years since I watched it before rewatching it for this. And I look at it like aging and everything, and I'm like, yeah, this movie is not great. And I never thought it was like, oh my gosh, amazing. But it has a charm that I enjoy, and I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because there are quotes from it that are like my family quotes a lot. Maybe that's why. Maybe I was just like, I don't know, it left an impression on me. Maybe it's because I love Marlon Ackerman, who plays Laurie in the Watchmen movie. Maybe it's because of that. She plays the sister. Who knows why I enjoy this movie, but I really do. I think it's a very sweet romantic comedy. I think it's a fun concept of the always a bridesmaid, never a bride. It's got some laugh moments, and yeah, but I do recognize its faults, which we'll get into because Jamie was already complaining to me last week about its faults. So we'll get there. But yeah, Noah, initial impressions of 27.
So this
Dresses.
was my first time watching it, and oh boy, is that sister ever irritating! Holy shit! Holy shit!
Yes.
Just deserves nothing but the worst. And like they do this weird. My one I would say a major complaint about the movie is they make a lot of it her the main character's fault. I can't remember her name, but they make a lot of it her fault, and like everybody's acting as if it's her fault. I'm fully on her side. Her sister was awful to her the entire time. And then cutting up I watched this with Riley, and Riley's seen it a bunch of times. So Riley was on the couch next to me. She goes, the moment that infuriates me the most is coming up. I can barely watch it, and I'm just angry thinking about it. And it's the moment where his sister cuts up the wedding dress. And Riley was like, as soon as we got to there, it was just fully like a guttural noise of pure anger came out of her. Just that it's such a piss off. So that's like my complaint about the movie is I think that they're giving. I think the redemption is not really redemption's weird. I think it's not really earned for the sister, and I think that she should be. I think that the way everyone acts to the main character is kind of shitty, considering she's right. She's just being a good friend. Why is everyone being really mean to her? I think that's the best part about rom-coms is this is my same thing with British game shows. They just bring out the most primal reactions from you.
Mhm.
Because British game shows are pretty brutal So like they turn you into like the most primal like version of yourself, where it's just like, no, fuck her, you're right, let's fight it out.
My favorite
Fucking
line in the
arena
movie
somewhere.
is when she looks at the old lady and she says, well, at first I was angry about it, but then I thought about all of the hot hate sex I could have with random strangers, and then I was okay.
That's a good line.
It's a good line.
It's a good line. Yeah.
Jamie, your initial impressions?
I mean, I think the reason I didn't like it is just because it was like a textbook rom-com. And to me, it just like, it's just, maybe this is just me because I like to read too much into things. But it's just like painful misogyny that I just feel upset watching it. That I'm like, oh, all rom-coms, like all the main girl, it's like, oh, she's always miserable unless she has, I know like that's the point of the movie, but even like the main male character love pursuit isn't like that, where it's not like his life depends. He's either happy because he's in a relationship or sad because he's not. And there's always like, there's never any other female characters with substance besides the main lead female in all rom-coms. And just, they don't act like people, the women in rom-coms. So I just like, I can't focus on anything else in the movie because I was just like watching it like, oh, any rom-coms, I just like sit there and I watch it and I'm like, oh, this is, what's going on? This is not the way that people are. So that's why I don't like most rom-coms. And this just immediately in my head clicked as like a textbook rom-com. So I kind of pigeonholed it in there and then it kept playing into it. So
yeah, there's definitely that. There's definitely, I don't think it's a perfect movie. I enjoyed it, but I think that's just because it's like a light watch.
Yeah, no.
You know, if there's much, is it a good movie? I'm not sure.
It's not a good movie. I enjoy it, but it's not a good movie. It's not. There's so many problems with it that we could break down. But you know, if someone's gonna be like, I want to watch a rom-com, I'm gonna be like, let's watch 27 Dresses because I laugh when I watch it and yeah, I enjoy it. But I will say what I did find like really kind of like fun and just kind of like, because this movie came out when I was young. You know, so like I wasn't really super into movies or like television when this movie came out because I think this movie's from like 2005 or something. It's early 2000s.
Yeah.
And so just seeing like all of these like actors and actresses who were like small at that time and have like small roles in this movie but are now like big, like Kristen Ritter's in it. She's the goth friend, and Peyton List, who was on Disney Channel and now on Cobra Kai, she's the young version of the main character in the opening scene. Like it's just kind of cool that now like my generation of people that I know, I'm just like, oh, there's that person so much younger. Like, I don't know, that's cool. My parents are always doing that and with like things that they watch. So now I'm like doing that. So yes, I'm old now, but it was fun.
Mm-hmm. That's the
moral of the story.
You're getting old.
Yeah. But yeah, I honestly thought you guys were really going to hate it. I really thought you guys were really going to complain, be like, Joe, I can't believe you made us watch this movie. Joe, I can't believe we ever let you talk about your opinions on the show ever again. Just kind of things like that. But yeah, I'm glad we're all mildly indifferent.
Yeah, but what you said, Jamie, I think that's, for the most part, that's the issue with rom-coms is just fucking straight people and misogyny. Like that's normally just
it's just written by men for women. Yeah. So then like the wrong things are amplified and you can just tell when you're watching it. But
yeah, that's definitely,
but that's all of them. It's not like 27 Dresses is
exactly
terrible in that accord. It just
exactly
met those criteria.
All right. Jamie, let's go with you next. I'm saving Noah for last.
Okay. Yeah. So I chose But I'm a Cheerleader, but then like when I thought about it, I realized I do have a different favorite rom-com, which I'll just quickly mention.
We can go with either.
Drunk Love.
Oh, Punch Drunk Love.
I don't know why I didn't think of that.
Fantastic.
Anyway,
you've never seen Punch Drunk Love? It's like
no, that's why I'm
best movie.
It's PTA.
Really you think that's Adam Sandler's best movie?
Like, it's one of them.
Sandler's best movie. What else?
Wedding Singer.
Not compared to Punch Drunk Love.
Okay, well,
not even compared to Uncut Gems.
Okay, well, I haven't seen Punch Drunk Love, so I guess I need to see this and see if it is.
You do.
I won't talk about it too in depth because we plan to talk about But I'm a Cheerleader. But I just forgot about that one, and I think it's worth mentioning because it's really great, and I like seeing like I I mean, Adam Sandler's the main character, so not like a super perfect person in the lead role for kind of showing like the awkward side. I don't know. I like it a lot.
Yeah,
really good movie.
I agree.
Really
It's fantastic.
quirky. Yeah. So, but I'm a cheerleader. Obviously, the LGBT lens version of a rom-com. I think because of that, it avoids playing into like the misogynistic tropes and stuff. It's just like it's campy, it's fun, but at the same time, it's like poking fun at straight culture constantly and other social norms, and it's just like it's a fun watch. I don't know. I can't really say any more than that. It's just like it's funny and it's different.
Yeah. It's definitely a really fun satire of the genre. Like
Mhm.
it definitely doesn't shy away from that, which is the best form of satire.
Yeah, when I watched this, I was shocked that this movie got made in the 90s. Like that shocked me. I'm like, someone actually like I'm so happy that someone greenlit and was behind this movie in the 90s, but shocked that somebody did. Natasha Lyonne being A, young, and B, not having a smoker's voice was insane.
It's before the
And-
cigarettes.
Like, and I don't know, like you only really see RuPaul doing like RuPaul's Drag Race now. He does like a few small things here and there, but seeing him actually in like a movie role was like really, really fun. I really enjoyed him.
Actually, to be fair, he does a lot of voice acting now.
Does he? I didn't
Really?
know
Yeah,
that.
he appears in a bunch of like Cartoon Network and like specifically I believe he was in Infinity Train, which I believe I've talked about on the show.
Yeah, enough
Fantastic.
times.
It's so fucking
Okay,
good.
Mitchell's versus the Machines. Let's keep going here.
Yeah, it's great. And he was recently, I believe he was also in, I think it was Amphibia. Yes, yeah, he plays himself in Amphibia, which is also a fantastic show. That one's Disney. It's basically like if you like Gravity Falls, you'll love Amphibia. Fantastic show if you haven't watched it. But yeah, Rue does a lot of voice acting recently, which is awesome.
Okay, yeah, no, that's super cool. But yeah, those are kind of like my initial impressions of it. I didn't expect to enjoy the movie as much as I did, mostly because like I watched the trailer first on YouTube and just like this low res like movie trailer that just looked like kind of like cringy. Like I don't know. To me, it didn't come across in the trailer that this was satire, you know? Especially because of like just also being made in the 90s. Once again, I was just kind of like, this is gotta be like some shitty ass B movie that like came out in the 90s that like I was like, no. This is Taika Waititi all over again.
What?
But
What's the correlation there?
Just you having me watch What We Do in the Shadows and saying it's great, and then I'm like, no, it's not.
No, it is.
That's
But
weird.
it is.
You're the only one. that thinks that.
Fantastic.
I know I'm the only one that thinks that.
Movie or show, because otherwise you're wrong.
But fuck, lost train of thought. Yeah, but actually watching, I really did enjoy this, and I had a lot of fun watching it. It was funnier than I expected it to be too, and yeah, no, just overall, like it's simple, it's straightforward, and it embraces what it is, and I think that's the recipe for a good film.
Actually, I want to say something else real quick about another rom-com, just because you mentioned Taika Waititi. The movie Shark versus Eagle, or Eagle versus Shark. I think it's called Eagle versus Shark, which was like one of his first movies that he did with Jermaine Clement from like Flight of the Conchords, and they did other things together like What We Do in the Shadows. Anyways, that's also a great rom-com, and that has like it's the lead is like the female perspective, but both her and the male lead are like really, really awkward, offbeat, kind of outcast from society. And it's just like such a lovely, endearing, cute, quirky film. And I really appreciate that they're just like kind of weirdos that are like don't fit in and are very like, especially the girl, she's like very shy. So I really like that. That Taika Waititi, I think, does that. He does quirky good. At least he has in the past.
Jojo Rabbit was good.
It's not as quirky as the other. There's not that much going on there.
Like the only movie he's made that I like, guys.
Okay, we're gonna pass over that, I think, because there's no.
Yeah,
we can't encourage this behavior.
I can't believe you would speak ill of a Jermaine Clement project, Joe. Come on, man.
Is he?
Jermaine
He acts also in What We Do in the Shadows, right? He's like the main like vampire guy, a bit chubbier. Is that the one that Jermaine Clement
He's got like a wider.
Jermaine Clement is like the Dracula guy with the beard and the long hair. He's the best part of that movie.
I liked him. Yeah, I didn't mind him.
He's the best part of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was also in Avatar 2, The Way of Water.
Everyone's in Avatar 2, The Way of Water.
He was the
Yes, he
crab
was
in
also
Moana.
Yeah, he sings Shiny. Joe.
Okay, I'm not big on Moana, and I think I've
I
talked
know
about it on
you're
this
Oh, we're gonna
podcast,
gloss over that
but
too. We're not gonna get
what
into
I
that now.
do,
No.
but what
Joe
I
hates
do,
Hawaiians, is what
listen,
I'm hearing.
listen. The music is amazing. I love the music to Moana. I don't like the plot to Moana because the ocean is Deus Ex Machina.
Who gives
but
a shit? Who gives a shit?
I do, Noah. We've been over this. I do. But what I
Who
do
cares?
love, my favorite moment of the movie, is actually Jermaine Clement, which is the end credit scene afterwards, where he's like stuck on his back and he's asking for help. And then he's like, let's face it, if my name was Sebastian and I had a cool Jamaican accent, you would totally help me up right now. You would. I just really enjoyed that moment. And yeah.
I'm glad.
But yeah, but Moana, overrated.
How do
Not
we
the
get
music
here?
though. The music's great.
How do we get
Children's
here?
movie.
Can I
though.
submit? Can I submit Hercules as my favorite rom-com?
Oh my gosh. Yes.
I recently rewatched Hercules, and my
Dude,
God, Megara's the best.
I made a musicals playlist. This is going back now in the fall, but like I've got Zero to Hero. I don't have Go the Distance, but I should put Go the Distance. I've got
There's 2 versions on Spotify.
yeah, and Won't Say I'm in Love. I love Won't Say I'm in Love.
Oh
It's
my God,
so
what a fantastic
so
song.
good.
Fantastic song.
Oh my gosh.
And if you have like Spotify Radio on, where you just kind of let it play over, almost always you will get I'll Make a Man Out of You coming up right after. It's fantastic.
Also, did anybody see that Spotify now has an AI DJ? It's kind of cool.
AI scares me, and
AI, it's what's gonna happen, dude. Embrace it. It's AI.
No, it sucks balls.
No, robots are taking over.
Well, I'm finding a lot of new music through the AI
Culture's
more
dying.
effectively than Spotify Radio. So,
But if you used a real person, you'd probably find it way more effective. So you like
That's true.
had a radio show you listen
but
to.
there's no
regularly.
radio show that's pertained at my musical taste. So
Dude, my station literally has like 3 pop punk shows, multiple emo shows. Like, have you looked?
Also,
have you ever
pop punk's
actually looked?
back in. Like,
Sorry?
yeah, it's diluted and doesn't mean anything anymore.
Pop
but
punk
pop
is back
punk's
in?
back.
yeah,
Pop
thanks to
punk
the
is
UK.
back.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
there's like
More so thanks to MGK, unfortunately.
Shut up. No, shh. I'm giving credit to
know.
Broadside and Busted. Shh.
Yeah. I think you can thank Olivia Rodrigo, who, when embraces pop punk, is way better than I ever gave her credit for.
What's that really popular song of hers? It's not "Thank You Next." That's Ariana Grande. What's her really popular song where
The
it's
pop punk one? Brutal?
No. The one about like getting over a breakup. Is it Good
Driver's
for You?
License?
Good for You?
Oh, good for you. Good for you.
I don't mind that. That's kind of a bop. Not gonna lie.
it sounds
I
like
if you-
Paramore.
groove to that. You know.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds like
Oh, it's
Paramore.
very
if you
Paramore,
like,
yes.
if you like Good for You, check out Brutal. It's
Okay.
similar.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is really weird how we started on rom-coms. We're talking about Olivia Rodrigo, but that's
I
TFCC.
think we're just padding time right now. I don't think we all have that
yeah,
much to
because
say this episode.
not only that, but like we know we have to like end at a certain time, but we're also like almost at the end of this episode, and we're like, we've got time to kill. Yeah, usually we don't.
None of us
Usually
are
we don't.
rom-com watchers.
Exactly.
us.
We don't have too much to talk about in that sense.
Which is great that we decided to base an entire episode around it.
And it also happens to be the episode that gets scheduled on a day where everybody's schedule is a mess. So
Yeah.
Fan of that.
Fun.
Okay. Noah.
Yes.
The F word / what if, because apparently we needed to have different
You have to censor
fucking
it,
titles
obviously.
for some reason. Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you have trouble finding it?
No, I didn't.
No, good.
Did not have trouble finding it. Also, I watched there's an extended version, and I watched the extended version.
I don't know which version I've watched.
So, and to my knowledge, that has an extra scene at the end. That's only like the real major difference is that there's an extra like 4 minutes tacked on.
Is it the airport scene?
The airport scene and their wedding.
I can't remember if I've seen the wedding. I've seen the airport.
Okay, I saw that version also then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
Yeah,
So we'll talk about this because
No, I think I've seen that. I think I've seen it. I think I saw the extended version.
Okay. Anyways, but yeah, Noah, you talk to us first, and then Jamie and I will hop on in.
So I think what I like about this one the most is it's one of the very few rom-coms that the chemistry between your two leads actually feels natural. Like they just kind of feel like they like each other as humans, and that could just be as great as Daniel Radcliffe is about selling it. but yeah, it's just so awkward. But like a lot of the dialogue, I love natural sounding dialogue, and that's what I think this movie really feels like a real romance coming together. Not necessarily all the like step by step plot stuff that happens, but in the way that the two leads interact, it definitely feels like there's something there.
Okay, I need to
That's
call
mostly
bullshit.
what I like about it the most.
No, tell us the real reason what you like the most of it, or I'll call it out right now.
Also, Adam Driver's in it.
Adam
so
Driver is in the fucking film. Yeah.
he's
As
in
soon
it,
as-
but
Yep. As soon as he fucking came on, I'm like, this is why I'm watching this
it
movie.
actually isn't. It actually isn't, because I will tell you 100% honestly, forgot he was in it until you just said that. I genuinely, and I love Adam Driver, as everyone knows.
I liked him in this movie.
But-
He was genuinely funny in this movie. I did enjoy.
Yeah.
I enjoyed his like, I just had sex and now I'm about to eat nachos. My life is great bit and everything, and he's like screaming like nachos. I'm like, who is this? But also amazing because like,
Yeah, I
haven't seen Driver in a role like that.
Occasionally directors are just like, yeah, can you be like just a little bit fucking insane? And so like this one, it's mostly Noah Baumbach that tells him that, but this one, his really brief stint in Meyerowitz stories, which is just it's a lot of fun. And it's another Baumbach movie. Where is he when he's just fucking weird? Francis Ha. He's also just like this pretentious dick. I love it. But yeah, I just really like the dynamics between the characters. I think they're really natural, and I think the humor, a lot of it lands. From what I can remember, it has been a little bit since I've watched this. Been a couple months, but and I don't have a great memory for that kind of stuff. But yeah, I just remember really, really falling into the dynamic between the leads.
Okay. I'll comment on your points. I agree with you that the main two have chemistry. I really did feel that. I felt like that it felt natural. Like again, once you said whether that is Radcliffe selling it or it just like naturally was there. But yeah, no, I thought that was good. I did not enjoy the dialogue. I thought the dialogue was cringy and didn't land for me. I was not a fan of the dialogue. I'm sorry, Noah. I wasn't a fan of the dialogue, man.
This seems to be a trend, Joe.
No, wait, this dialogue, I agree with Joe. It sounds like how millennials think they sound. How millennials try to sound. Like, if you look on millennial Twitter, that's how they're typing and how they try to talk in person, but it's so awkward and bad when people just talk like that in real life.
No, that's not
but the show doesn't make,
Noah.
The movie doesn't make it as awkward. Like, it makes it seem as if they're being funny. It makes it seem like that's a normal conversation to have. People don't talk like that.
I interpret it as they think they're being funny to each other.
But everyone else in the movie also talks the same way. Like everyone,
because they're friends. We don't get any outsiders, right? So it's
too millennial for my taste.
It really feels like there's. To me, it really feels like there's just this like. It's one of the very few rom-coms that I've seen that it actually feels like everyone in the movie knows each other, cares about each other, hates each other, whatever. They actually have genuine feelings for the people in their lives. And I think that having this really cringy language fits, because if you overhear any friend group that you're not a part of, you immediately hate them. So, like, I think that's a in my opinion, I really like it because it's
Noah,
not
what year were you born?
Polished.
What year were you? Oh, you're just on the cusp. I guess you're not a millennial. Close to.
No, I'm one of I'm like 4 years into. Or like 3 or 4 years into Gen whatever Z Gen Z. Yeah.
No, because it wasn't like there is awkward dialogue. Like those other two movies I described, they had characters who would say awkward things. This was like, oh, they're trying to make it seem like Daniel Radcliffe's character. He can be kind of clever and he has like little quips. Those quips would be really fucking weird if anyone said them in real life. Not awkward. You'd just be like, who does this? This isn't Twitter. What are you doing talking like this to new people also, not just to their friends? I do agree there's chemistry and it was like there's like a community within the movie and you could feel that. I like that. I like the characters. But I agree with Joe on the dialogue that I was just like cringing on it. I have other problems with this movie as well, but
yeah, I want to get to my big thing with this movie and then Jamie, you can take it away.
Yeah.
Which is that the premise of this movie, or at least the premise that I felt was the most forward, was that the point is that can a guy and a girl be friends without wanting to be romantic together?
This is my
the answer is yes. But here's the thing you establish this premise between two people who are obviously attracted to each other, and after he thinks he's on a date with her, but no, she has a boyfriend, and then just he's obviously I'm just gonna be front with it. He obviously wants to fuck her throughout the whole entire thing. So even just everybody being like, "Oh, you want to sleep with her?" And he's like, "No, we're friends." And I'm like, "But that's it's not true."
Yeah.
So like, what was the point of making this the premise of your movie? Unless they were like legitimately just like people who were close and like assumed to be together, and the movie was actually about friendship, and they don't end up together in the end.
Yeah.
And he doesn't push the boyfriend out the window accidentally. Which was a fucking time.
Yeah, once again, I don't think all the plot beats are perfect.
So like it's just it doesn't land for me. It's like, the entire time I'm watching this, I'm like, what's the fucking point of this movie? Either do this or don't do this. I don't care. I'm watching this movie either way, and I'll watch either premise, because like if you take it out, the movie still works once again. And if you were to leave it in but take out the romantic stuff, that movie could work. That's an idea there. But this movie can't pick a lane, and it's like, I don't know. It just makes me feel like, what's the fucking point?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, I was just gonna say that narrative honestly pisses me off. I got viscerally angry watching this because it did kind of frame it as if like, no, you can't just be friends with someone. Like if you can't just be friends with someone of the opposite gender or sex without ulterior motives, and you will be successful if you befriend them. If you become their close friend, you'll be successful. If they ended as friends, that would have been a great movie. And I would have been like, wow, how refreshing. Like me personally, I've kind of been the victim of such where people become friends with you, not to be friends with you. And even how she has a boyfriend in the movie, like to have that narrative, like, oh, they met, she has a boyfriend. Oh, but if you become friends with her and stay friends with her, maybe you'll get it eventually.
And push her boyfriend out a window and paralyze him.
Well, okay, that was funny. That was like a funny bit.
That was fucked.
Typical
I was just like, what is
rom-com
happening?
Antics. But just that narrative, I did not like. And the boyfriend was way better than Daniel Radcliffe, but they frame it as if no.
For me, I didn't take it as that was the premise, that it's about that. I think it's just more so explore. I don't think it's saying anything wider about friendships between.
It's
that wasn't the
the
premise.
F word. The premise of like, even if you watch the trailers, like all of the thing it pushes at is like friendship and everything. Like that was the premise, my dude. It was the premise.
Maybe. I mean, that's what I'm saying, is when I watched it, I didn't get that.
Even if that's not the premise, that's still like the core of the story. Is he meets a girl in the relationship and befriends her.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
took it more so as like that is what I think Daniel Radcliffe's character is a terrible person, and I think that's what makes it fun, is that he is just shitty. And so I think I like that it's more so a messy telling of two people, of that specific relationship between two people. And I like that it's messy and that it's not like two people meant to be. And I like that there's some weird shit into it. I really enjoy just all of the messiness between both of their like personal lives and their friendship to each other, and the way that ebbs and flows. I didn't get that. I can see where you guys are coming from. And maybe on a rewatch, I'll dislike it more. But I'm not a rom-com guy. I remember picking this one because I watched it. My girlfriend really enjoys rom-coms. She was like, "Hey, let's watch one." So I was like, "Yeah, of course." And I watched it and didn't hate it. So I picked this one. I forgot about Crazy Rich Asians. And Joe said I couldn't pick Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
No,
so it's not a comedy.
Yeah, it's really not a comedy.
It's not a comedy, dude.
It's not a comedy. Yeah.
Yeah, like for me, it was just because it was too close to like it was like personal. But
Sure.
I was like, I feel like I've been the victim of what she's experiencing, and it never ends up that way. The girl is never like happy or like, no, actually, I do want to be with you. That's not how it happens. So I don't like the idea of this movie being out there and people are gonna watch it and be like, oh, it works. I should do this. I should befriend someone, but I want to date them, and I'm gonna kind of be upset in our friendship and be all like not satisfied unless we become something more. I don't like that. I don't like that narrative at all.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I will say, if we're done talking about the F word, I want to say that I'm proud of the three of us, that none of us chose what is like the most iconic and most beloved rom-com of all time. Any guesses there?
No. Love
When
Actually.
When Harry Met Sally. Love Actually,
I've
though,
never
also
seen it.
too.
Never seen
You
it.
haven't seen When Harry Met Sally? Classic.
No.
Classic. But I'm proud
I
that
I've
don't
just
you
seen that
picked
one scene and I don't like it.
I
don't
don't
like
watch
the-
rom-com.
They all have what she's having seen.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
restaurant. I don't like that.
every
It's not funny.
everybody's seen the scene. But also Love Actually. I did consider Love Actually, but I was just like, I don't know. I kind of want to watch that around Christmas, maybe this year. Maybe we'll do like a little Christmas thing.
Yeah, my second pick is also. I'll just quickly talk about it because we have extra time. Apparently, do we have?
Yeah.
Extra time? Yeah,
We have a little bit extra time. Yeah.
a little bit. And I've forgotten the name of it.
Well, then I'll go. My second pick was The Princess Bride, which is like I don't think anybody dislikes that movie. It may not be
No.
your favorite, but like it's
I love
such
that movie.
it's such
who
a
doesn't?
fun fantasy love story. Like it's so great. It's so quotable.
I guess I've never thought of it as a rom-com. I just
Yeah,
thought
It
of
is,
it
though.
as I just thought of it as a revenge tale.
a high
I'm more caught up in a different
revenge
storyline.
romantic comedy, my friend.
I'm more into the one with fucking Inigo Montoya and Andre the Giant.
You kill my father.
Yeah.
Prepare to die. But yeah, no, it's such an amazing film, and even after like all these years, like it's aged so well. It's still beloved by many. Like that's a movie that I've gone to the theater and seen just because they replay it so often. Like I've gone to the theater and seen The Princess Bride on the big screen. Like
Yeah, it's really held up.
Yeah, so Princess Bride, just fantastic. And if it wasn't for that, who knows what Carrie Ells would be doing these days, besides living off of those royalties and going to Comic-Cons for it. So yeah,
There you go.
that's all he does. But yeah, that was my second choice. Jamie, you want to talk about your second choice quickly, or?
Well, I already talked about two other movies, but I can talk about the third one. That at the time I said my other choice was The Lobster, just because it's like the weirdest thing I could think of. That's it is a rom-com. Like at the core, that is what it is. But it's just like really bizarre, and I enjoy that. But I've already spoken about my other two favorite. Like The Lobster, I guess would then be my number 4. So I'm not going to talk about my fourth favorite one. So.
Oh,
No,
I found the name of it. Happiest Season. It's a rom-com set around Christmas between Kristen Stewart, and I don't know the name of the person who plays her girlfriend. I know she was in San Junipero, and I really enjoyed that episode.
I think we talked about this. This one with Dan Levy, right, on Amazon Prime.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw the trailer back when it came out like a year ago, and I actually did want to see it. It looked cute.
I saw it. It is really cute. I really enjoyed it. I think it's technically a rom-com, but it's strange because like they're already together. Like you don't get that, coming together. Like that's not the point of it. It's more so about loving yourself rather than loving any other person. And I think that's really cool. I thought it was a really cool take on, the sappy holiday story. Some things are genuinely funny. Personally, I found it more emotional than funny. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I definitely recommend it if you're looking for a holiday, a good old gay holiday movie to watch. Then
I've heard good things also about that new rom-com that Alison Brie and Dave Franco made together that just came out on Prime. Apparently, that's decent too.
I've never heard of it.
Danny Pudi's in it as well.
I do like Danny Pudi. Yeah, guys, look at us opening up our hearts to barely talk about this topic we chose.
You know what? But now we've crossed it off. We've covered it, and we don't have to ever talk about rom-coms again.
Once again, I don't hate rom-coms.
Yeah, I know, but like we can't make a second episode out of this. We barely made a second episode out of the Golden Globes.
That's I don't know, man. That was a good episode.
I won
that quiz.
So both of the Golden Globes episodes are like kind of like highlights, I think, in our career, which is why it kind of sucks that the second one didn't do as well as the first one. It did all right, but I was kind of upset. I'm like, come on, we crushed it with the first one. That one is,
I think so.
Yeah, Pia Zadora. Pia Zadora. All right. Well, thank you so much for listening to 21st Century Cinema, as always, guys. This is really weird for us because this episode is going to come out at the end of March, talking about rom-coms, which is
At the
relevant in
end of
February.
March?
Yeah, because releasing this at the end of this week is our Oscars episode. It's going up. And then the Oscars are happening this weekend in our actual time. And so we'll then be recording and doing a fast turnaround on our What Happened at the Oscars episode.
That makes sense. Okay. So
Yeah.
this episode's happening before the Oscars. So
we're recording it before the Oscars, but it's going to come out after.
Gotcha. So
yeah.
now let's talk about the Oscars like we know what happened.
Yeah. Jimmy Kimmel was not that great of a host for the Oscars. Everything Everywhere All at Once should have won more of the awards and been nominated for more of the awards.
I just think it was really crazy when Jimmy Kimmel went ahead and shot everyone in the face.
That was
was
pretty
We
wild.
can put that on this show.
It was great though. It was great though.
Guys, we said clean edit. We said
It
clean
was
edit.
fantastic.
Come on.
Yeah.
Seriously,
What's wrong
at
with
the
that?
end-
What's wrong with
at
that?
the
That's
end-
fine.
With the
That's
water gun, man. With the water gun.
And then when Tim
water gun
Robinson
filled
showed
with
up as the
urine.
backup.
Shut
well
the
done.
fuck up
It was
about Tim
fantastic.
Robinson hosting
It
the
was
motherfucking
fantastic.
Oscars. Oh
what a
my
great,
God.
What a great Oscars. What a great. And then the Academy just apologized for years of wrongdoing. It was wild.
And they all did backflips.
That,
It was
that,
crazy.
that interpretive dance to end racism was a bold move by them, but I think it landed for a lot of Republicans.
That's the most plausible thing that will actually happen.
Hey, remember the in memoriam last year? What the
Oh, I
in memoriam
remember.
was? Like, that is possible following that in memoriam. It was like a Black History gospel in memoriam. It was really, really weird. Like,
That's true.
really weird.
Actually, I say that's true. I don't think I ever saw it. I don't think I watched the Oscars.
I don't remember
last
it.
year. I don't.
The
think I
Oscars
watched
last year was interesting.
it. I don't
We'll
think
see
I had
what-
a reason to.
But we'll see what happens this year. I am genuinely hoping that Everything Everywhere All at Once wins Best Picture, but I'm so
Yeah, of
afraid
course.
that it's not going to.
Yeah, I don't know what they'd pick otherwise, though.
It's the Academy, probably something that shouldn't win.
Yeah, Green Book. What a great movie that
The
explains
Shape of Water,
accurate
Moonlight.
Green Book
Those are actually
accurately
good
describes race relations. I'm joking.
Yeah.
Green Book.
Yeah,
was
I know you are.
terrible,
I know you are. I
Terrible
know you are.
tokenist piece
I
of
did
shit.
not
Yeah.
hate Green Book as much as you, but I did not want it to win Best Picture. I don't think it should have won Best Picture.
It's just a fucking. It is a fucking movie, so then centrists can watch it and feel better about themselves.
Yeah, the difference between like Green Book, what Noah's saying is like objectively, yeah, it was like pure virtue signaling, like just not objectively bad. You kind of can't argue what Noah's saying. The movies you're saying, like, oh, how did this one win? That's just your opinion, Joe.
Yeah.
Shape
You
of
can't bring
Water.
those
I'm
up here.
sorry. I'm
That's
sorry,
your
but I don't
opinion,
know
though.
how Shape of Water.
Everybody
Okay,
wanted to fuck
fine,
the fish guy,
fine,
Joe.
Fine. Shakespeare in Love. How the fuck did Shakespeare in Love win?
Yeah,
There.
probably should have.
Yeah, it shouldn't have. 100%. However, I want to ask Jamie an honest question.
Yeah.
Okay? Between the movies that were nominated for Best Picture at the 91st Academy Awards, would you have preferred Green Book winning or Bohemian Rhapsody?
I don't remember what else was nominated.
No, I'm just saying between those two. If one of those two had to win, which one would you pick?
Okay, Joe, if you had to choose between a jar of pee and a jar of sewage water, which one would you drink?
Yeah,
Pee,
that's
easy.
very fair.
That's easy.
But
I guess the
also
sewage water has
nominated-
pee in it
No,
also.
pee. Definitely pee. Sewage
my-
water is way too much.
My pick was Vice, though, for that year. My
Trues.
pick was Vice. Also
Yeah,
nominated
Vice. There you
was
go.
A Star is Born, Roma, The Favorite, Black
Yeah,
Klansman, and Black Panther.
Black
those are all
Klansman
good.
was my
Honestly,
pick.
all of those other ones should have won. Like, I would, except for A Star is Born. But outside of that, Vice, Roma, The Favorite, Black Klansman, totally fine if any of those four won.
I say I want.
Even if I'm not that big on The
I'm
Favorite, as no one
pretty
knows.
sure it's the only one I saw. I think it's the only one I saw that year.
Black Klansman?
I think.
It's a
I
good movie.
saw. Have I seen Black Panther? I don't know if I've seen Black Panther. I don't.
You don't need to. It's overrated. It's really overrated.
If it means something to somebody, I'm fine with it.
Yeah. Well, anyhow, we will be back to talk. Well, will have already talked about the Oscars when you guys hear this.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so
what's
we will
next,
be-
Joe?
Well, what's next, Noah, is that since this episode will be coming out at the end of March, and we'll have 3 episodes technically going up in March, we won't be around for the month of April. Also, because Joe's going on vacation and doesn't have time for that shit.
Where's Joe going on vacation?
Joe's going to Texas. I'll be emceeing the Vex Robotics World Championships again this year.
And Joe, what is the address of your home, knowing that there will be no one inside?
I'm not giving you that information.
Good. That was a test, Joe. You just practice.
It's actually it's 13 Shepherd Noah Drive, Newfoundland, Ontario.
Wow. Who would have thought?
It's adjacent to Gmail Street.
Gotcha.
That's a code for the fans to figure out.
Yes.
But yeah. So we won't have an episode in April. But we will be back in May, and if plans go well, we will have a guest host joining us in May who has never been on the show before.
Oh?
So we'll be back at the beginning of May to break down our summer blockbuster. Then we'll have an exciting episode near the end of May, and then after that, it's summertime, guys. So that means fun episodes about the industry. If you like listening to 21st Century Cinema, if you want to send us questions for our annual Q&A at the end of the year, if you want to know what's going on with the podcast and be the first to know, then you can follow us on Instagram at 21st Century Cinema, on Twitter at TFCC Podcast, and also on Facebook. You can use either of those terms to look us up, because I was creative and got that to happen through my magical ways of URLs and Facebook names. Also, if you want to support the show, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TFCC. Currently, we have one dedicated patron, Noah Shepherd. Please join him in supporting the show. Also, if you wanted to support
own goddamn salary.
If you wanted to support the show but didn't want to make it a monthly commitment, we have merch, guys. Noah is currently wearing our best-selling piece of merch, the Shut Up Joe merchandise line. That's right. It says Shut Up Joe in some fun cursive letters, and it's got my face on it with tape over my mouth. It was designed by Noah Schaefer, who we love and who does all of our art. And we also have the new TFCC logo that debuted with our new 5th season. It's also got some merch out there too, so feel free to grab some of that and represent the show. Get yourself some swag. And if you wanted to know what any of us are doing in our lives, well, they can tell you right now. Jamie, what's going on with you?
So what is coming out the end of March?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's like 4 different shows every weekend. Every weekend in April, I'll be playing a show with the band Blossom. And one of the weekends I'll be playing a show with the band Lord Bozo. All of which, if you look up those names on Instagram, you will find those Instagrams with that information. And I still am hosting a show Monday nights on 933 CFMU. It's at midnight. It's kind of late, but if you go on to cfmu.ca and type in Toon Love Bot, you can find it otherwise. And I think that's the gist of it. Yeah.
And Noah, what about you?
Got stuff to talk about, some new stuff. So I've been on the board of directors for the St. John Short Play Festival. I think I've mentioned in past podcasts. And submissions are now open for our upcoming festival this next September. So if you have a play, an idea for a play, some weird, any sort of creative process that belongs on a stage that you can somehow justify as theater, or any multimedia that involves theater, we want to hear it. We want to have it. So yeah, you can visit St. John's Shorts on Facebook. There's a link to it. St. John's Short Play Festival. All those terms should come up with what you need. But yeah, please submit. That's we're really looking forward to it. So there's that as well. I'm still doing radio, journalism stuff, so not as exciting as Jamie's, but you can hear me basically every evening from Sunday to Thursday. And that's when I'll be on. That's at 590 VOCM in the metro region, in Newfoundland, of course, and at vocm.com. Anywhere we have a live radio feed. So if you want to find out what the news is like in Newfoundland, please listen.
That article that just came out about Come From Away on VOCM, did you write that?
No, I didn't write it.
Wow, that's a travesty. That's like an injustice.
Yeah, I posted it, but because I run the website as well in the afternoons. I posted it, but I did not write it.
Yeah, because there was no byline, so I didn't know who wrote it, and I was like,
Yeah, we don't have bylines because the court stuff.
the court
We don't
stuff.
use bylines. Yeah, we don't want people. Newfoundland's small. We don't want people knowing who the court reporters are. Like really,
Gotcha.
yeah. It gets kind of icky. And for the most part, we're mostly broadcast. So what you see on the website is normally there might be some stuff added, but it's normally just our broadcast scripts. So you want to you'll want to go listen on the radio if you want to figure out who's involved in it. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. If you're interested in what I'm up to, I'm on Instagram at the one and only JDV with underscores in between each word. I'm also back on TikTok. I made my TikTok return today, making TikToks again, all about comics and Watchmen. You can follow me at Who Killed the Peacemaker on TikTok. And also I've got a comic Instagram at Who Killed the Peacemaker. We're getting into con season, guys. There's going to be a lot of exciting content coming, watch out for that. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. If you care about comic books as well, go check that out. Otherwise, just check out the show, support the show. We love it. We love making it for you all. And we're also very, very excited that our international listeners are still listening. Russia, I don't know what you see in us, but I can't really say.
It would be problematic these days.
Yeah, I can't really say I love you, but I appreciate that people around the world are listening to us. Yeah, that's my statement. That's my statement. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for listening, and
thanks for sticking through this episode. We made it this long.
We did.
Way more dedication than me. I checked out long ago.
But yeah, we hope you guys have enjoyed our Oscars breakdown of what happened, and also who we thought should win the Oscars.
Hope you loved it.
And yeah, and we're excited to see you guys in May when Noah and I will break down what's coming out this summer. Heads up, I'm going to be talking about the new Ninja Turtles movie because it looks like a lot of fun.
It looks fantastic.
It looks so good. I know, right? Anyways, we'll talk about that. All right. That's all for now, everyone. Goodbye.